she did an amazing job in keeping the energy up, keeping the attendees, the audience engaged, and just made such a big difference in just the whole energy and the flow of the conference.
Greetings and welcome to the show. I'm so happy that you're here to Your Time to Shine International Interview Series, where I get to interview people from all over the world that are shining bright. And that can mean my neighbor next door, or it can be some entrepreneur or even a light worker, or someone that works a 9 to 5 because they're shining their light. So thank you so much for being here today. And I'm your host, Angel Marie Monticelli. And just a little bit about me is that, way back when my mama got that phone call from my teacher in 3rd grade that said, hey, I just want you to know that Angel probably won't make it through high school, let alone go to college. My mom was put back. And she said, that's not it. I remember her getting off the phone, coming to me and saying, baby, remember you're special. Fast forward, mama knew something was going on. So she had me tested, dyslexic. Of course, mama took care of that and we went through a lot. And in 8th grade, I actually won the most improved student of the whole entire school. Wow. Also, what happened, fast forward, I was diagnosed with lupus, fibromyalgia, arthritis, and Sjogren's. And what happened was I started going down the Western medicine, and it started giving me all those side effects. I was getting depressed. Had low self-esteem. I had no energy. Most of all, I wasn't sleeping. And then, bam, what happened? I took my energy back and took my power back and said, I'm going to study the power of energy, the power of nutrition and power of mindset. And when I put those all together, with what you see right now, right here, is a 60-year young lady that has enthusiasm and joy throughout and beams light and helps people all over the world with my certified spiritual counseling, and helps counsel people on raising their energy in 30 seconds or less naturally. So that's a little bit about me. I'm a 6-time international best-selling author. I have 2 TV shows that I produce, and I'm also a Reiki Master. And I work with people just like you that want more energy, more productivity, but most of all, confidence and joy in their life. So you know what? Thank you. Welcome again. And we have an amazing guest coming on. He is, I'm just not even going to say who. I'm not even going to go into it. I'm just going to bring him on and welcome to the show, my wonderful Israel Mandrake, all the way from Chicago. We got a little bit of a lag going on, and that's okay. So welcome.
Welcome. How are you doing today? It's good to see you again, by the way, finally.
Yes.
I haven't seen you since Huntington Beach, California at 5 a.m. in the morning. That's the last time I saw you in the flesh.
Yes. It happens, when someone flies in all the way from Chicago and you happen to be there, because I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, and I was there. Mm-hmm. I was like, Israel, we are meeting up no matter what time it is. So yes, I got up at 4 a.m. to drive to meet this amazing, give him a big old hug.
Well, and here's the thing for the viewers that are watching right now, just so you know, this beautiful woman, it's about 5 a.m. in the morning, and I'm just waking up. I'm just stretching. And all of a sudden I see her blurry, and I see her blurry on the screen. And she goes, I'll be there in 15 minutes. That was outstanding. So we didn't just hang out at 5 in the morning. I got a chance to, I got something to tell you about your book. I'm going to hold off for a moment to say hello, but I have something to tell you about that in a little bit too, by the way. That was cool.
Oh, awesome. We'll get to that. So awesome. So tell the viewers, please, about yourself a little bit, because I know how awesome you are, but go ahead.
Well, should I tell them about just last couple of weeks we talked about?
Yeah, just about you, and then we'll get to what you do. Just about you and where you live and how you, yeah.
Well, I constantly stay traveling no matter what. I live in Chicago, but I constantly stay in movement for working with clients, obviously, and just tribe, just in general. And I love martial arts. I am a UFC fanatic. I love puppies and I love tattoos. And I consider life to be a blessing 24/7, even when the times are twisted, hard, and knotted up real good. I absolutely love life. I love people, not to a fault. God damn it. So I love it.
That is awesome. I didn't know that you liked the martial art, or that you did the martial arts, or like the what you just said.
Well, you know it's really wild because I remember when I first met you, I met you with Tim Burt and Bruce Sermon, and when we first met, it was one of the things. I don't know if you remember. We were talking to a guy from Rhode Island, a specific coach from Rhode Island, and we were all just laughing and chilling. That's what we were talking about with arts. That was the origins of hypnosis for myself. Learning about hypnosis, learning to truly understand how do you create a practice in your life that is mind, is body, is spirit. So martial arts was actually the origins of all that. Martial arts and music. So still to this day too, a very big music fan, love it. And that'd probably be the best answer of just describing my soul, you know? So.
Absolutely.
Is there a delay, by the way?
Yes, there is a delay. Yes. So
okay, cool. That's what I was waiting. I want to make sure because I'm.
Yeah, there is a delay, so that's okay. But let me say hello to Linda's on the line. We also have Dr. Marlena. I can't say her last name.
Marina.
Okay. Great. She is on the line too. And then we also have Barb Anderson. So awesome, everybody coming on with your chat fingers. I so appreciate you coming on. So let's get to it. Let's ask Israel, how do you show up and shine personally every day?
Probably the most important thing from the moment my eyes open. And I'll say this and share it with everybody today. If the moment your eyes open, you can close them right back down and begin programming before you can be programmed. So before you pick up your phone, that's how I start every day. The moment I wake up, time to go to bed with wonderful tracks playing to program all night. But then as soon as I wake up, I push the phone away. No electronics inward. First thing I do is start the inward work immediately. Then going from there, to use the word shine energetically, I would say it's pranayama. So the two best morning routines, going within, starting the energy work, starting the reprogramming, and then right after that, just reaching out and loving people, usually around, I'd say probably about 45 minutes after priming in the morning. So that would be the origin of the shine. So
I want you viewers to get this, is that he doesn't get up right away and grab the phone, because once you grab that phone, you're programming your day with that phone or whatever is on that phone. So to take the time to program, and I like to call it visualization. You're visualizing and creating your day. Different words, same thing.
Well, and you know, the one thing that I have realized too, especially now, immediately in the morning, going directly outside. So even with staying away from the phone for a moment and just spending 10 to 15 minutes connecting to nature before you start going back into the jungle, you know? So right before that, you're already back to the roots. You see the metaphor of what we really are. And then that way you can get connected back to Mother Earth, get back connected to Source. And then after that, everything else gets a lot easier. So that would be the beginning of the day. Yes.
That's beautiful. So what inspires you to get up? What's your why to get out of bed? And thank you, everybody that's coming on, and chat fingers are on. So.
As you might be able to tell by the Mardi Gras exterior, I've spent most of my life in a rebellion, so to say. So one of the first things that I do that really, I like to start the day by meeting, sharing, and starting to share what I'm calling them secret weapons, but an easier way to do that, my rebellion and what makes me shine and what makes me feel fully alive, is truly starting the day with fighting the system by reprogramming. And I know that sounds really wild, but think about in the world that we're in right now, the moment I wake up and I see what's waiting on the phone, I love immediately butting heads with that. The moment I wake up and say, not a chance, that's my thrill. That's what keeps me high all day, is waking up and getting into a nice conflict with all the bullshit, coming right out and just being real, connecting, being real, and not bending out of that parameter until it's time to do so for the right reason, you know?
Absolutely. And, you know, Tim Burke is on the line and saying you're giving great stuff. And we want to shout out to Tim for Booked
I
on
love
Media.
and miss you, Tim Burke.
Yeah. And his
I know
his course.
This is, oh my God. Yeah, actually, I got to say this, because if Tim is right there right now, anybody who is, if you run a business, if you want to work with the media more often, be in the media more often, be exposed, be known more for what you do and what you share, check out Tim Burt. He's on here now. Tim Burt's Booked on Media course. It's beautiful, but it helps all of us that love others in the way that we do and the way that we heal to be able to, like we are right now as we speak. Everybody who is in this tribe right now, we're doing it in part. And I love you, Tim Burt.
Absolutely. Love him. Love him. So awesome. So let's go to the next one. How do you serve others and shine?
Okay. How I serve others and shine. The easiest way I could put this, and this has been probably most important in the last 2 months, realizing that a lot of the things that I want to share with people are, in the world that we're in, most easily done by simply matching them to their daily patterns. And what I mean by that is, say, for instance, I'm talking to somebody that for the last 20 years, they've went out every morning and started the morning with a walk. Instead of trying to reprogram them with hypnosis, I take their walk and add hypnosis to it. So with every step they take, they are closer here. With every step they take, they are closer here. And that way they're learning to reprogram themselves with the natural elements that are already programming them. So that way, say, for instance, someone picks up their cell phone, that they've already chosen a wallpaper that means what they're going to do on the walk. So I kind of take environment and I crunch it together with people's natural habitats, right? And take that programmable, beautiful animal and teach them that they're already programming themselves, but with small adaptations, they can become masters of that programming. Therefore, life begins to get real cool, real easy, real quick. So
beautiful. So he takes on corporations. Is that something that you can do? Can you help people with anxiety, traumatic, and PTSD with these techniques?
Well, now see, here's what's really cool with that. I'll split that into 2 parts, okay? Working with corporate people, you're always working with PTSD, trauma, and anxiety. Anytime I'm working with somebody who, say, for instance, would be a gymnast, same. If I was working with a house mom, someone who has stayed home and they take care of kids during the day and they're working on a project, they still have trauma, PTSD. So the answer to that is every single time. Even if I'm working with an elite level athlete that's on top of the game, that's still, their traumas have to be amplified as the things that are making them accurate. That's what's so cool. You don't get rid of trauma. You don't get rid of PTSD. It becomes reframed and becomes a different metaphor that launches them into what will be overridden by the nature of their central nervous system. Because within time, the central nervous system and our brain is made to adapt. So as we know from, like, if you look at my uncle was in Vietnam. You know, when you look at Vietnam, you had 19-year-old boys that were smoking pot, having a good time, enjoying their life. Next thing you know, within 6 weeks, they were legal killers for the government. So if you can do that in 6 weeks, imagine how easy it is to rearrange trauma into something productive, you know, as opposed to the other way around.
Oh, absolutely. I see that. Wow. Wow. And you know what we're going to do is we're going to go to a fun fact with Israel.
Yes.
We're going to ask him to share with us a fun fact, but we're going to have him hold off on that because we do need to go to a commercial right now. So we'll be right back after this commercial. Israel will help us and tell us about a fun fact about that I don't even know about him. So we'll be right back after this.
What would it feel like to have a steady flow of new paying clients every week while working less and making more money? That'd be awesome, right? We would all love to have an endless stream of clients who pay us handsomely for our expertise and work with us for years on end. Well, there is a new marketing miracle called 6-Minute Webinar Technology that does just this. Go to www.6minutewebinar.com to find out how you can get access to it.
Awesome. So we are so excited to hear some fun facts or a story that Israel is going to share with us in just a moment. But let me tell you, when I met Israel, he was just in this, this class, and all of a sudden we went, oh, and he was totally amazing. Here he is. He's back. Awesome. Being awesome to be back. Okay. So we were going to talk about a fun fact or anything you want to bring up just for the viewers for fun. So what is that?
Okay, come on. So let's have fun with this. You say fun fact. What kind of fun fact, or do you want me to bring up a fun fact about what they're here for today?
Sure. Let's do that. A fun fact about what you think the viewers want to hear.
Okay. So I'm going to go off on this. So imagine this. Every one of us knows how a wedding ring becomes sacred, because two people make a choice for it to mean something sacred, and therefore it becomes emotionally attached to the way we perceive it. Now I want everyone to think about this fun fact. If you are wearing jewelry, if you're wearing your favorite hat or your favorite coin, to turn that into something that can change your life is as simple as adding inner dialogue. So in other words, instead of the dialogue you hear every single day in your head that's not making you feel right, let's say, for instance, you took this. This one's a bullet. So this bullet I use when I work out, but then when I go out and things get difficult in my life, I can just wrap my hand around here, and instantaneously it triggers what I've programmed it to do, which is to tell me, you got this, man. Don't worry about it. So everybody who's listening, just think about something as simple as when you're typing on a computer. When you begin to type, all of the muscle memory that's triggering the synapses that's related to the way you felt the last time you were at your keyboard can get triggered very easy. Same thing with your jewelry. Same thing with the smell in the room when you walk into a room that's familiar. So all of those different things, when I talk about reprogramming, just think about the natural things in your life, because that is the ultimate fact. When it is natural, you can reprogram yourself with anything that's already naturally reprogramming you. How's that?
Wow. We're going to do that for a fun fact. He's got a mic drop. Bam! He's got it. He's got a mic drop. There we go. Awesome.
Yeah.
Not even put bam on it.
Nice.
Awesome. So tell me, you got a book inside you. You writing it?
Yes, it is probably now. There's two titles that I'm playing with back and forth. Originally, one was going to be called Awaken the Supernatural in You, which was going to be about the natural capabilities we have that we're calling supernatural, right? That was what it was going to be about, how we are naturally supernatural and how easy it is to, we know from not eating organic foods, everything, the energy shift just from that. But the one I'm working on now, I'm not going to give you the title, but I'll give you a hint. When it is finished, it will be the ultimate handbook in human optimization, and one in which will teach you tools to crush trauma, to understand what PTSD is, and how to take anything inside of your consciousness, any metaphor that's ruling your life, and how to reform it and how to get your emotions to be part of it until you autopilot the outcome you want. So that's the book that's coming.
Oh, I can't wait for that. That is going to go that. Now, that's a golden nugget right there. I love those golden nuggets because he's going to be showing that. Awesome golden nugget. So I also want to say hello and thank you for everybody coming on the line. I can't see your names, but thank you. And also want to thank anybody that's watching on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Android TV, iTunes, Spotify, Facebook, or YouTube. So thank you. We have the ability with E360, which I'm very thankful for E360, that I have that ability to be able to reach millions of people. So thank you for that. Appreciate that. So we're back with Israel Mandrake. So Israel, can you
Yes.
tell us about when you had a client, a one-on-one, or a corporation, just a story, you don't have to use their names, but they were here and then you worked with them and then they went to here. Could you tell us a story about that?
Okay, now this one's kind of, I swear I could go on for days on some of the cool stuff I've seen happen, but I'll tell you one of my favorites. I was in a powerhouse gym probably 11 years ago. And when I walked in, I had lied to management and told them I wanted to do a law of attraction course inside of a powerhouse gym. Now, of course, the reason I framed it as a law of attraction course is so it was only semi-horrifying to people who didn't know what the hell I was talking about. But when the people came in there, and there were a lot, what I shared with them was hypnosis. I showed people how to use hypnosis in the gym, right? Now, this is before it was as socially acceptable as it has become in the last 10 years, because in the last 10 years online, people are understanding what it is now, right? But here's the story. I walked in and there was this huge dude, big guy. And one thing he didn't believe in was what I was calling hypnosis. What he didn't understand is that it was just conditioning and that it was reprocessing everything that had made him who he was that day. And he looked at me and he goes, so let me get this straight. When you're talking about hypnosis, what can it do? And I said, I don't know. Nikola Tesla tapped into something he called supernatural and changed, well, everything as we know it. I don't know, how far can you take it, you know? And he goes like this, he goes, can you help me find my purpose? And this was one of the scariest moments because I knew at that very moment, this guy just said to me, do it. And as soon as I closed his eyes down, I did an induction, which just brought him into the same stage we all go into, the same state when we're watching TV, and we forget it's Tom Hanks, and all of a sudden we're crying, and we've seen him 1,000 times, but we forgot we're really in the story. And that story in his mind showed him a shield that had a badge on it that he had forgotten about from his childhood. He burst into tears in front of a room full of people, stood up and said, I remember what my purpose was. And he, without getting on in here, but he was wailing, he was yelling, he was going everything. And when he did it, it was so emotional that everyone in the room became hypnotized. And I don't mean hypnotized like this. I mean like at a rock concert where all of a sudden they play their lead song and everybody becomes one tribe. That's what he did with his mind just by going. And when he remembered and he remembered and he cried, he was going to be a police officer when he first came to Vegas. Long story short, he decided to go back to the academy because of what had happened and change what he did not pursue. So long story short, that was one of my favorites because I watched a man forget one life and then obtain it within less than probably 3 minutes of work. Yeah,
wow.
That was cool.
Yeah. Well, can you maybe share another really powerful technique that we can do at home, like really quick?
Yeah. You got one that's a real fast one that'll be powerful. Let's do this. Here's probably one of the most powerful. And this is something that if you're familiar with Angel Marie, you're probably familiar with this. But we're always hearing words like frequency. We're hearing words like vibration, all of these things. And I don't know if people perceive it at all times. But yet at the same time, is a frequency. I love you is a frequency. I don't like you at all is a frequency. So how do you change it? To learn to take that vibration just in your voice and come up with a sound that matches how you want to feel. Close your eyes and make that sound. Then give that sound a color. Then vibrate that sound all the way out and match it to the music on your radio. And then match it to the sound of the radio when you're in the shower and wash away your filth and bullshit. And then start the day in the frequency in which you deserve. That's hypnosis.
That is a really quick, easy one. And I'm going to reiterate for him because I really want you viewers to get it. So I'm going to echo this. Is to echo it is to tell you again, go ahead and do the vibrational field that has you feel good. For me, it's that feels good to me.
Yeah. And which is so wild because I think everybody on here has heard the name Dr. Wayne Dyer before. And he used to talk about being Ra, God, Buddha, ha ha, that feels good. And all of the and by the way, that's the beginning of Om. The three secrets that are hidden inside just that one tone. That's the vibratory path to what they call the vibration of God, or as we know, we make babies with that stuff.
Yeah, we do. Ah, Good stuff. Oh my gosh. Wonderful stuff. Awesome. So I don't know what is one, maybe, because we're almost up to the sponsor. We got to do those sponsors. Is what is the positive life change that hypnosis.
Okay, so why don't we do this? Because I know what you're asking. You're asking what is positive life change hypnosis?
Yes. Oh.
Okay, so think about this, that if any two people were to dance any already popular dance, they dance the Charleston together, they could never dance it like anyone else dances it. Because any two people, even doing the same moves, have a little bit difference. Like Bruce Lee said, there's something different going on there. Positive life change hypnosis is my approach to clinical hypnotherapy, shamanism, all of the names that people probably wouldn't understand while I'm helping them, or they don't need to. So what I do is call it positive life change hypnosis. So their mind and their heart can hear, oh, I get it. And that's it. Positive life change hypnosis is a way for me to translate 25 years of my passion and how those tools all have one thing in common. They're just brushstrokes on a masterpiece waiting to happen. They're just brushstrokes. You know what I mean? Each individual, no two people have I ever worked with have been the same. It is impossible. So every single person gets a new program and a different way that they approach that positive life change. So
that is beautiful, and I'm going to do that and a mic drop to the brushstrokes of your life, because that's important. Ready, go. Here we go. Bam! Because you, and this is what Israel is saying, and I want you to take this in, viewers, is that you are unique, you are authentic, you are the only you. And no matter what you may think, and you compare, stop comparing. You are unique, and you will do it your own way.
Absolutely.
That's love that.
Beautiful.
I love that. And we're going, and this is really, you're igniting so much mindset shifts for everybody. And I just love the energy we got going on. Well, we're going to be right back with Israel all the way out of Chicago. And when we come back with him, we're going to ask him a fun question that he has no idea I'm going to ask him. What? And he's going to be like, oh, what? But here we go. We'll be right back after this. And we're back with Israel. I'm going to ask him a fun question. So this is a fun game. He doesn't know about this. Here we go.
Oh.
If you could talk to your 18-year-old self, what would you say to them?
I got some better ideas for you, young man. Better ideas. I'd like you to try some different stuff than you have in mind. That's exactly what I would do. I would, you know what? I said this to one of my favorite brothers in my whole life. His name was Michael Ryan, my cousin, right? And we spent our life studying these things that I share with people now, right? And he said to me one time, he said, what would you say to your younger self? And I told him, I'm like, dude, I would punch him right in his mouth. That's what I would do. And he said, why don't you love him, dude? Never got over that, because that was when he said that to me. I was in an emotional state when he said it. That's what I would do with my 18-year-old self. I would grab him in a very tight vice-like headlock and tell him that I love him and give him some new advice. That's what I would do.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So tell me, Israel. I mean, you've gone through a lot. So could you share maybe what struggles have you had where you when you weren't shining so bright?
Uh, when I was growing up, I had the blessing of being physically tortured growing up. And when I say that, by the way, that's not something that I bring down in a low tempo. I say this is a very good thing. I had a lot of things happen to me that over the years, those were the things that really let me know your scars are your blessings. Your pain are your blessings. The violence that I grew up in helped me a lot. It turned it into martial arts. So I took something that was violent and turned it into poetry. I took hatred and anger and I turned it into songs and music. And then as the years went by, I turned rebellion, instead of turning into something that could have been very abrasive, I turned into someone who found rebellion in the soft ideas of life, just like martial arts. That's why I always say rebel against the system through healing. You know, if you can become healed by your own hand, you've won. You know, the school, the game, you know.
Oh, so true. And Tim Burke is saying he said, "Oh my gosh, that was a great answer of what you did with the
Thank you, brother.
18-year-old." So, yes, it really
Yes.
and you know, I'm going to reiterate too, is that it's really a refreshing. Viewers hear this, refreshing that we can take what our struggles, just like my mama telling me, "Hey, you're special," and me believing her, and never really having a hard time when somebody would say, even my dad, "You're stupid," and me go, "I'm special." I believe that,
Right.
and that's why I never gave up.
You know, and it's so wild. I think me and you had this conversation when we were sitting out at 5 a.m. in Huntington Beach. The ultimate hypnosis is when mom takes their little baby, little boy, little girl, after they skin their knee, and just looks directly at them and says, "It's all right. Don't worry about it. It's all better." And the reason that that works, it's amazing, because of that love. You got to remember, you know, as they say, our parents are our gods until we know otherwise.
That's
right? And for them to say anything, it becomes so real because of the believability of their, you know, I don't want to say illusion, but you know what I mean. Speaking of illusion, that was a great question the other day. Thank you. That was cool.
Yes, and what he's talking about is the theme of the week for my other show, the Shine On Show, was illusion this week. And I picked it on purpose because I knew that Israel was coming on, and I wanted him to talk about the illusion of life. And that because as a Reiki Master healer and what I do, I get asked a lot, "Angel,
Right.
is this the illusion? What's happening in the world?" And I'm like, this is a way out thing. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to this man who has been studying this for a long time.
Oh, it was so wild too, because when you had asked that, I remember when I went to Vegas originally. Now, I went to Vegas at 27 years old to become a stage hypnotist, a mentalist, to do all these wild things. In my wildest dreams, I never thought it would become what it has become, which is helping others with the same techniques that I learned throughout all that time. Now, it's not how I had it planned, but the most amazing thing was I realized that the magic or illusion of today is always the science of the future. Anything that seems out of our reach today, anything we don't understand, whatever seems third mic drop. That's nice. But that being one of the main principles. Like, I mean, think about this. When we carry cell phones now, every single thing that we're doing now, if you could go back just, I don't know, not that long ago, none of it would make sense. None at all. I remember my grandfather, he was 78 years old when he passed. He was born in 1929. And I had an opportunity to sit down with this man and ask him. His name was Vernon Vaughn, badass guy, right? And I asked him, I said, "Pop, what's the craziest thing that you've seen in this whole time?" And he took me from 1929 until now. Everything was magic back then. Everything that we take for granted, everything we do, for him, he's like, I had never seen anything like that in my life, you know? So it's wild. Where will we be in 2050? Wow. The singularity is on its way, my friends.
Yes. And do you believe, now I didn't even talk, we didn't never talked about this whole thing with the multiverse, this whole thing is getting us ready to realize that we're not linear, that everybody's seeing this here, and I've seen this, but this is deep. I know it, viewers, but
anybody who has the time to sit back and watch Ready Player One, I believe that's a Spielberg movie, if I'm correct, and it's a movie called Ready Player One, and it, granted it is a story, it really shows the multidimensional nature of humanity and kind of not only where we're going, but ironically, especially if you study Kabbalah, like Kabbalah, not because of it being specifically any one religion, just because it is sacred geometry, and it shows how we're in multi-dimensions parallel at all times. You know, it's so funny, but yeah, when we're sitting in a room with somebody who's sleeping, let's say someone's sleeping on your chest and you're just holding on to them, you're in one dimension here. They're sleeping right here on your chest, but yet DMT is being released in their brain and they're in another dimension while they're partially in the dimension with you. It's happening all around us constantly. We just don't call it interdimensional travel because we're still figuring it out.
It's so true. It really is so true that we're in multi-dimensionals. Absolutely, you know.
Two cavemen were sitting by the cave. One caveman said to the other, "Hey man, what time is it?" And he goes, "I don't know. We haven't invented time yet."
Yeah, but it's right there. And the thing is you can do this technologies and these techniques. You can do it online, or you can do it in person.
You know what? You had asked me about this the other day. I got to be honest with you. I always love being in person with people because I love touch. I love connection like that. But when it comes to people being able to be helped with these techniques, the percentage of people that like to have privacy. So when we're done working, if they have to lay down in their bed, punch a pillow, scream, cry, let it out, go jump in the shower, whatever it may be, there's always different things in their physical world. I'm doing hypnosis appointments and giving them tools. But what I'm doing it in is in their real life. So the moment we're done, if they have privacy and online, it blows my mind. It's almost, to me, it seems not more accurate, but online, there is just a potency of privacy, and then people feel very, very comfortable there. And that's a good place to be for that kind of work, you know?
Beautiful.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Beautiful. Absolutely. So I'm going to ask you another fun one because we've got about 10 more minutes to go. If you could have dinner with 3 people, live or dead, who would they be and why?
Wow. I'm going to get in trouble for this one, aren't I? The first one, I'd have to say, now, I'm just going to have fun with this because I'm sure I'll miss a beat, but here we go. Darren Brown, European mentalist, one of my superheroes since the dawn of mankind. Or I say dawn of mankind, I'd say last 30 years, not dawn of mankind. But absolutely love his work, would love to have a conversation with him, and would love to be face-to-face to have dinner with him. And we would have filet mignon. Okay, now, number 2 would be Sun Tzu, the man who wrote Art of War. And we would be doing and eating whatever kind of dinner he would say because I'd have no choice, and he would trick me into it. Number 3, I would say Rasputin. And I would want to have dinner with him so I could hear his perception of what he was sharing, because I have theories about what really happened during that time in history and how it changed the world and what was really going on. I had a roommate that was from Russia one time, and she was telling me about what she believed it to be because she was from that specific area. So it was one of those times where I realized, so Rasputin, Darren Brown, and Sun Tzu.
That's awesome. That is
It would have
awesome.
been Stanley Kubrick, maybe, but no, not today.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. And you know what? This segment that we're going into is a thankful segment to all the people that are watching and also the E360. So when we
Right.
come back from this video of showing E360, we're going to ask Israel, give us some more of those quick tips that we can use and things. And then also, I want to know what 333 means, because everywhere you have that is that 333. So be right back after this. See if you can see my little head come out on this little thing. Here we go. And we're back with Israel Mandrake, all the way from Chicago. He's an amazing man that is talking about all kinds of great stuff. So here we go. Can you please answer that question or give us some more tips, maybe one more tip that can help people understand how this world is an illusion, but yet also how they can be more productive in their life? Oh, he can't hear. Okay, something's on his end that's going on. And I'm not really sure. Why don't you go out and come back in? Go out and come back in. Cut it. There you go. And he'll come back in a few minutes because, well, that's all we got to go with is that. So we'll just have to see if he can make it back in. Otherwise, I am going to have to answer the question that this is an illusion, that everything and that we see going through, catch my show, the Shine On show, the one before this, because that was what the theme was in all the studies that come out. Did you know that when you go 30 feet under the water, because of the energy of the wavelength of the frequency of color, that actually blood will look green? And I just bring up that, but that everything changes because that's the illusion when we go underwater. That's why, because of the energy waves of all the neurons, what happens is it looks blue. But in reality, it's not blue, but it's seen blue through our eyes. Isn't that interesting? So there's so many things that we don't understand. So here he is. He's coming back. Let's see if he can make it back. You know how technology is, and we're going to just ground and ground. So here we go. Let's see if we got him back, and we do. Yay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Okay. So please go right ahead and answer. Give us another tip. I just love them. Okay.
Want to have some fun just with a few tips real quick that are easy to use right now? Is that what you'd like?
Yes, that's what golden nuggets, awesome golden nuggets.
Okay, let me think about this real quick. Imagine the two words emotion and metaphor. Take those two things. If you don't know what a metaphor is, which I'm sure you do, but I'm just going to say it like this. A metaphor, just imagine the story and the meaning that you tell yourself is in pictures, ideas, thoughts, energy, all that. So just take these two words and put them together every day. Emotion, metaphor. So if you're in a story and you change its meaning, and therefore by changing its meaning, you can change your energy, then that means no matter what story you're being given, well, you walk into a room and this story means that you're supposed to be feeling bad because everybody in the room feels bad. But what if your story emotionally is, I was sent to this room to make everyone feel better? And you can do it that quick by anchor it to something, anchor it to your lucky coin, anchor it to a symbol. In other words, I'll give you an example. There's a doctor by the name of Dr. Weissman, and he does this thing where he does this, which we all know means love. I love you, right? So what's something good for you? Was something like you could just cross your fingers, you could say, or say this, like a wedding ring, this means something because we say so. So let's say when I hold my lucky coin in my hand, when I walk into this room, it means that I'm walking into this room, and meaning in the real world. You're going into a place and you're nervous. You're going into a place and you feel insecure or you're scared. And you take your lucky coin and you do just the same power of magic that the most powerful magician on the planet could ever do with your own heart, your own mind, and your own central nervous system. You make it mean something, you stick to it, and you win that moment. That's the technique. Win that moment with emotion, metaphor, and you.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Oh.
Absolutely. Yes. And that really tells me something, because, and one of the things that I teach is that people say, Angel, you glow. I see you sometimes glowing. And the thing is I teach people, thank you. I teach people how to raise the vibration. And all I think about is being white gold, white gold,
Right.
white gold, white gold, white gold. And I'll walk in someplace and they'll be like, whoa, Angel. So you just showed me what I'm doing. Thank you. I didn't.
Which is so funny, because all the programming, what does white mean? If we go inside of our psyche, we say the white light, we say, things that are bright, things that are shiny, the emotional metaphor. It sounds funny, but it's impossible to escape the metaphor, to be surrounded in a ball of light. We know we're in an energy body, but for a normal, for someone having normal consciousness and going, what do you mean a bright light around me, right? Same thing for them to emotionally see the metaphor it becomes. It's neat. Yeah, I've seen you do it in person. I always call you a sprite.
Yes, and everybody can do it. They absolutely can. And I want to say thank you to Dr. Marina, who's saying this is a powerhouse blowing up the internet. We're blowing up the internet and that they love it. Linda's saying win the moment. Great job and great show. This is awesome. That we're able to really bring this to you with these awesome golden nuggets. Now, we're up to the point right now, we're going to go back to this, but we're up to the point right now where we get to have the free gift. I love the free gift.
Okay, now, should I say it right away? Or should I compliment something I want to compliment real quick?
You do what you want to do. This is your show, and you have been amazing. I'm going to put up your website so everybody can find him, and we're still going to answer the question, what is 333?
Okay, so let's do all this at one time. You ready? 333 at all times, under all circumstances. For me personally, it's an angel number. People have different meanings for it, but for me, 333 means the alignment between you and the higher self, your angels, your God, your spirit, I don't know what the hell I call it, but I know there's something. Doesn't matter. I heard Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers said, I am a non-denominational sorcerer, meaning he doesn't give a shit what you call it. He knows its source, and his music is how he gives his God's love to you. And we're watching all of those people dancing in unison. That's 333. Harmony, synchronicity, all of the stuff that it's a numeric code for the right vibration, for the right groove. Number 2, I want to say I read your book on the airplane. I didn't want to tell you about it, but I read your book on the way back. So I was in Huntington Beach, California, obviously, where I met with you that morning. I waited until I got on the plane. I put your book away. I was going to take notes. I wanted to see what it was like. What you did with Shine, your puppy, in the book, that's cool, because it's a perspective from the animal brain. I love this because for me, I saw from a perspective of neurology, you did every single technique you show in here. You then put it back to the thalamus, right? Then the prefrontal cortex. So you do your work, then you let the puppy do its work. So that was really cool. And I like canines a lot. Yeah. And then what was the last one?
I've never heard anybody say that and put those together like that. Yeah. So
well, that was the whole thing. I'm on the plane and all of a sudden I'm like, wait, is she talking about? And then all of a sudden it occurred to me, when you repeated that with the animal, it shows both parts of the brain in succession, the logic and then the animalistic. It was wonderful. So thank you. It was cool.
Oh, you are so welcome. And right now, what I'd like to do is go to your free gift. Go ahead.
Oh,
what is the free?
So here's the free gift, and I'm going to do this for everyone who signs up for this. Do it quick because stuff has been heavy lately, okay? I want you to think about one thing in your life you want to change. And I want you to take a piece of paper just like this, write down what you got to get rid of, what you're done with, what you need to terminate. And on this side, simply in 1 or 2 words, what would your chapter look like if you did what you're supposed to do, your purpose, the whole reason you're even here? And then go to Optimize 333, and I have 20 minutes with any individual. If you sign up for your free 20-minute, in 20 minutes, we're going to get that done. Not get it started, not mess around with it. I want you to write down where you're at, where you want to be, and within 20 minutes, you will have the baseline that then you'll have to either take and run with or watch float away once again. So 20 minutes, work with me, and let me show you how easy you can change your life. Because remember, I'm flowing, just like a martial artist, I'm flowing with the other person for a beautiful outcome. And in 20 minutes, I want to show you how easy it is to change what seems to be the world you're stuck in. Okay?
Wow.
That quick.
Ow. 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Let me tell you, I was with him for an hour and it changed my whole world. And so, bam, 20 minutes. Please go to this website. Do it now because it's not going to be there forever. So do it now and he will work with you to release it.
Now, just real quick, too, keep in mind, how does that happen in 20 minutes? The same way you can get a phobia in less than 30 seconds. One thing can happen to you, shock your system, and all of a sudden, for the rest of your life, you're afraid of something and you don't know why. That same procedure, done in reverse, is how we do that. So make sure you sign up for your 20-minute session, work with me, and we're going to do mischief.
And you're going to laugh, you're going to have fun, and you're going to learn. Absolutely.
We will weaponize our sense of humors and dance.
Yes. So we have about 4 more minutes until we're done. I can't believe it's almost been an hour.
Yeah, this is incredible. I've been looking forward to seeing you too. That was fun, and it was really nice. A lot of people were making contact today. There's been tons of DMs, tons of people really are starting to gravitate to these texts, and I really appreciate you. It's been cool. And if you're watching this, I probably love you.
I always tell everybody, I love them. I love them. I don't care. Yeah, I just love it. So, Israel, what is coming up for you? What is coming up for you that you'd like to share in the next 2-3 minutes?
Well, one of the things I'm starting to realize is that when I work with people, there is the want to be able to be somewhere in their life, and then there's the capability to do it, the competent aspect of it, the competence. So I'm going to a lot of digital work too, so that way people have the apps on their phone, so people can work directly with me. And then after I make the changes, they have new anchors. So I'm working on software to help you, and I'm also working on the masterclass, the 333 masterclass. I'm going to then chop it up into bits. I'm going to do one for entrepreneurs, one for people who fill in the blank. And then as people are writing to me and communicating with me, I'm going to make it to where the hard spots are and then conquer those with you. So that's what's up next.
Oh, lots of technology, but a lot more things to do. Now, if viewers, I know you're getting this, that this man is coming from the heart to serve. And that's what he does, is he serves. Yeah. So take him up on.
Oh, I was just going to say too, and it's just because of what we've all been through in the last couple of years, it makes all of this really easy to understand, because the same things that have happened to us is the same way we can free ourselves. It's amazing. The same procedures that caused it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're giving that on there. I like to thank Team Angel that's on the line that are helping right now to get all this information out. We had quite a few drops. We had quite a few of those mic drops today because we only have about 30 more. Yeah. I mean, this is actually the most we've had. This is the most we've ever had. So we only got about 30 seconds. So what would you like to end? Please give us our end comments before we take away.
I love you. Much love. Thank you for sharing this time with me. And remember, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, rebel against the system through healing. they can never control that. When I say they, I mean you.
Yeah. So true. So true. So thank you so much. This has been so wonderful. Israel, thank you so much for being here. I thank the viewers for being here and everybody that come in, and I will see you next time. Love you. Bye.
Thank you. Love you guys.